Good evening and welcome to the Under 15 FIBA Women's Centrobasket Championship official draw. My name is Edgar Marin, Head of Competitions for the FIBA Regional Office in the Americas. We are glad to have you join us today for this event, which gathers 8 national teams as they attempt to earn sub-zone bragging rights and qualify for the 2025 edition of the FIBA Under 16 AmeriCups. We would like to extend our sincere appreciation to President Abdiel Blanco of the National Federation of Panama and to the city of David, Panama for their commendable dedication and efforts in hosting this sub-regional youth competition. This event serves as a gathering hub of promising basketball talents within the Central America and the Caribbean subzone. Before the draw, let's do a quick recap of our participating teams. From Central America, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Mexico, Nicaragua, and the host, Panama. And representing the Caribbean, Bahamas, República Dominicana, y Puerto Rico. Let us review the principles and the corresponding pots for this event. This event will be executed using 4 pots of 2 spheres each, which have been grouped by the current Youth Nike World Rankings for women. In addition to the team pots, we have 2 additional pots containing the group and the position numbers, which will define the assigned group and the matches for the games in the group phase. Now, let's outline the draw process. We'll begin by selecting 1 sphere from pot 1, which will be slotted into Group A. Then, we will select 1 sphere from pot A to determine the seeding of the team's order of the games during the group phase. The remaining sphere in pot 1 and its matching assigned group spot from pot B will be assigned to Group B. This process will be repeated for pots 2, 3, and 4. Confirming the 4 teams that will make up Groups A and B in the competition. The draw will conclude once all teams have been slotted into 2 groups, along with the number defining their position during the competition. This 2024 edition will have the following constraints. A maximum of 2 teams from the Caribbean Basketball Confederation can be slotted into the same group. Finally, let's recap the pots. So pot 1 is Puerto Rico and Mexico. Pot 2 is Dominican Republic and El Salvador. Pot 3 is Costa Rica and Panama. And pot 4 is Bahamas and Nicaragua. Now that everything is ready, we want to introduce our 2 draw system. We have Gabe on my right, and then on my left is Ed. Thank you both for being with me today for this draw. Should we start the draw? Gabe, let's start with pot 1. As we explained, the first team that comes from each of the pots will go to Group A. Mexico. Mexico will be playing in Group A. Mexico, Group A. It's the time to take the sphere that will give Mexico a number that will be used for scheduling purposes. And that number is 2. So A2 for Mexico. Okay, Mexico A2. We now proceed with the second sphere in pot 1. And the team is Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico will be playing in Group B. Group B for Puerto Rico. It's now time to select the sphere that will be assigned to Puerto Rico. Again, for scheduling purposes during the group phase. And that number is 2. So B2 for Puerto Rico. Mexico is already in Group A, and Puerto Rico in Group B. It's now time to proceed with pot number 2. The first team will go to Group A. Let's see which team goes to Group A. Dominican Republic. So Dominican Republic will join Mexico in Group A. Let's now go to pot A. And it's 4. So Dominican Republic will play as number 4 in Group A. Okay. We have one more slot in pot 2. Sorry, one more sphere in pot 2. El Salvador. El Salvador will play in Group B. Group B for El Salvador, alongside with Puerto Rico. Let's see the number that will be associated with El Salvador. It's number 3. Number 3 for El Salvador. We're halfway through. Mexico, Dominican in Group A, Puerto Rico and El Salvador in Group B. It's now time to continue the draw with pot 3. The first team will go to Group A. In this pot, we have Costa Rica and Panama, the host. Let's see who goes to Group A, and that's Panama. So Panama will be playing in Group A. Group A for Panama. Let's know the number. For Panama, again, this number will give the team the order of the games during the group phase, and it's number 1. So Panama is playing as A1 in this U15 women's Centrobasket. One more sphere in pot 3. Let's take that out. This team will go to Group B. And it's Costa Rica. Costa Rica joins Puerto Rico and El Salvador in Group B. Group B. We now continue with pot B. We have 2 remaining spheres there. Let's see what number will be assigned to Costa Rica. 4. So it's B4 for Costa Rica. Last pot, we have Bahamas and Nicaragua. 2 more spheres to go. The first team will go to Group A. Let's see who goes to Group A. And it's Nicaragua. So Nicaragua will be playing in Group A. Group A for Nicaragua. Last sphere in pot A, we have 1 number remaining. Should be number 3, indeed, number 3, A3 for Nicaragua. So Nicaragua will be playing as A3. That concludes Group A, but we have more and more sphere in pot 4. So Gabe, let's see the last team that we have for this U15 Women's Centrobasket official draw. And of course, it's the last participating team, which is the Bahamas. Bahamas will be playing in Group B. Group B for Bahamas. Final sphere. We have only 1 number. Should be number 1, and it is B1 for the Bahamas. So Bahamas, number 1. We're ready for exciting youth basketball within the Central and Caribbean subzone with this Under-15 Women's Centrobasket Championship that will take place July 24 to 28 in David, Panama. But first, let's review the results of this draw. Group A, Panama, Mexico, Nicaragua, and the Dominican Republic. Group B, Bahamas, Puerto Rico, El Salvador, and Costa Rica. We also wish to express our gratitude to all stakeholders. We look forward to seeing you in the city of David, Panama, and wish all of the participants good luck and a delightful evening ahead.